this IAM practicals, right? By the way, everyone has their own accounts signed up. Everyone. Without that, you cannot do any kind of practicals. Signing up account is mandatory. Okay, great. That's great. Nice. So, guys, let's have a small shootout round on what we have discussed on IAM. Then we'll jump on. Yeah. Okay. So, guys, if you want to create users, is it possible to share share the root account to others? Yes. I'm not asking about email and password, but root account can be shared by creating what? By creating IAM users. By creating IAM users. Right? So, yeah. Right. Yeah. So, do you remember that IAM is all about creating users, creating groups, creating roles, and creating policies? Only four. Only four. Yeah. So, how many ways that you have to access AWS? Two ways. What are those? Console and programmatical access. Nice. Console and programmatical access. Okay. So how do you log into the console? Using
email ID and password, or username and password.
Using email ID and password, or username and password. And how do you log into the CLI?
With the command line, with the keys.
Using keys. Keys meaning what?
Keys are like a password. We can
Keys
enter into
meaning access
programmatically.
key and secret key. You should say this, not unique. You should say access key and secret key clearly. How many set of keys that you can have per user? Maximum.
2 set of keys.
2. So keys are user specific, or if you have one keys per account, it's enough.
It's a user specific.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And once keys are lost, can you get it back?
No.
No. Can you create new keys?
Yes.
Yes, and you will get the new keys, right? Not the old keys, right? Yeah. And whatever the permissions, the policies that you have attached to the IAM user, the same policies, the same permissions will be applicable to CLI?
No.
Yes, it is applicable to the CLI as well. Very good. Mm-hmm. Yeah. And groups. What is a group?
Collection of data.
IAM group.
Collection of IAM
Collection
users.
of users or set of users, yeah, is called a group. And guys, is it possible? Okay, can we attach policies to the group?
Yes.
Yes, possible. And how many maximum policies you can attach?
10.
To the user and group? 10. Okay. And is it possible to assign keys to the group?
No.
No. And one IAM user can be attached to multiple groups?
10. Yes.
Yes. Yes. Okay. Okay. And then we discuss about the roles. And okay, before going to the roles, we discuss about policies. How many different types of policies are there?
2 types of different policies.
2 types. What are those? Managed policy and inline policy. Very good. And managed policy and inline policy. And which is the one which is created and managed by AWS completely?
Managed
is it
policy.
Managed or inline?
Managed.
It's managed. And if the users or customer creates and manage it, then that is called inline
policy.
or customer managed policy.
Yeah.
Remember that? Or we call it as what? Customer managed policy. Nice. And policies are written in
JSON format.
JSON format. Policies are written in JSON format. Is it possible to give resource level permission? Particular resources? Which one? Managed or inline?
Inline.
Wow. Inline. What is the full form of ARN?
Amazon Resource Name.
Oh, name or number? Name or number? Are you sure? Yes, it's name. Yeah. No number concept, huh? Okay. Name only. Okay. Nice. And then we discuss about the roles. What is a role?
Role is like we can give temporary credentials
role?
to access or to log into your account.
Right. Excellent, Ivan. So temporary access without credentials. We should put this completely. Temporary access without credentials. Nice.
Temporary access without credentials.
So, is it recommended to configure keys on the EC2 instance? No, because the keys are stored on the EC2 instance. That's the reason why we go with the roles concepts. Nice. Do you remember that we discussed about identity federation or identity provider? What is that used for? SSO, right? What is that? SSO, single sign-on. What is that? Single sign-on. So what is this Active Directory called in AWS?
Directory services.
Which is a service? We call it as directory services. Very good. What is it called? Directory services. What is a tag?
It is used to identify the information, or it is used for identification purpose.
Tag is a key value pair. That's a good one. Tag is a key value pair. Tags. How many tags you can have per resource? 50.
50 tags.
Nice. And tags are mandatory or optional?
Optional.
And we know, yeah, very excellent, Talia. Very good. So, what we're gonna do today is, guys, we log into the console. And then see how it looks like. Yeah. Let me share my screen. Can you please confirm? Can you see my screen? Yeah. And first and foremost, guys, close all your browsers. Those who are planning to do the parallel sessions, like parallel, I'll also log in, I'll also do the same thing. That's really a bullshit, not a good idea. Please leave your consoles. Just listen to me. From now, I'll be giving you nice, neat, line by line tasks that you need to do it. So please concentrate on what I'm doing. Please don't parallelly do any kind of practicals. This is my humble request. Okay, so if you go and type AWS console login. This aws.amazon.com console. See? So here you have here sign into the console. Click on sign into the console. Yeah. Yeah. Can you hear me properly now? Okay. So, well, so this is the console that you have to go in. So keep this in mind, guys. This is IAM user This is IAM user login. Do you see that here? Sign in as IAM user. Guys, I have been using this account since many years. So is it recommended to log in with the root account, or it is recommended to log in with the IAM user for me?
IAM.
With the IAM user, right? But do you have any account at the moment? What
No.
type of account do you have at the moment?
Right now we have only root account.
Root account only. You don't have IAM account. So you need to log in with the root account. You need to log in with the root account, and then you need to create an IAM user. You need to log in. Do you see this here? You already know how to log into the root account. Guys, you already logged in, right? You have an option how to log in. So here, sign in using the root account. Here, if you click here, you have to give your username or email ID and password. But here, I already have created my IAM user, right? And I'll be logging with my IAM user. But for you, you don't have a concept of IAM user at the moment. You have to still log in with the root account and create your IAM user with your name only. That's how I created. So here, guys, we have something called account ID, 12-digit number account ID, or you can have an alias account. So keep this in mind. I'll talk about this soon. I have created my alias account called Ria Cloud, and I have my username and password. So just take a screenshot. I'll keep it here. You understand? Don't worry about this account ID. I'll soon talk about this. But you understand, this is my IAM user sign-in link. This is a IAM user sign-in link. But keep this in mind, you have to log in with the root account because you don't have IAM user. You need to log in with the IAM account and create a user account, username, IAM user called whatever name, your known name. We will be doing that now. Right? I'm clicking on sign in. And here you see MFA code. Do you remember that we discussed about MFA code? Right? Yes. So now you should have your Google Authenticator installed on your phone. Don't worry, I'll tell all those things. Right? So I am opening my phone and then open my Google Authenticator, and I see the code here, which is this, and it is valid for 10 seconds only. Click on submit. This is how I logged in. Hey guys, so welcome to AWS Console. Welcome to AWS Console. Make sense? Yeah, whatever, 30 or 10, whatever. Guys, this is an AWS Console, right? And let me walk through, give a small tour on what are the things that we have at the moment here, and what to click, what not to click, etc., etc. Right? Yeah. Don't worry, guys. How to create an IAM user? That is what today we'll be doing it. So I just logged in. I could have directly logged in and show you this page, but I just show you how I am logging in, so that from tomorrow you'll be logging with the same steps here. Okay. So this is the AWS Management Console, right? And here we have AWS symbol. So if you anywhere you go and click on this AWS symbol, and you will be on this landing page, home page. And if you click on services here, these are all the services that the AWS has. They have changed the backend as black now. These are all the AWS services, guys. These are all the AWS that we have it here. So whatever you want, you just need to go and then pick it up. Okay, let's say this is also search. This is called search bar, right? Where if you want to go to EC2, just type EC2, you will get EC2. And if you want to go for IAM, just type IAM, you go to IAM. And if you want to go to RTS, go to RTS. So basically it is easy to go and search and click on that. Or you can just if you want to find out all the services here, you can see here, and this is the search one, searching for the services. Right? Yeah. And you see here, you have Ghanta, right? This bell icon is a notification. Bell icon is a notification. So notification meaning here, guys, if AWS wants to send you some information, guys, AWS will be doing some maintenance activities also, no? Right? Let's say, remember we discussed about the host machine in the backend. Guys, do you remember the concept? Host machine, hypervisor. On top of it, we'll create a virtual machine, which is nothing but EC2 instances, right? So if you have if the AWS has some maintenance on the host machine, where on that host machine your EC2 is present, that means your EC2, if they stop, or do some maintenance activity on the host machine, your EC2 instance will also get affected. Yes or no? Definitely yes. So for that reason, they will send you a notification saying that, hey, your EC2 instance will be stopped. Your EC2 instance will be stopped or rebooted. So please take care of it. So I will talk about this Ghanta in the EC2 section a lot. But the thing is here, for now you just understand that this is the, if AWS want to send some notification to you, or if AWS is having some outage issues, or if AWS is having some maintenance issues, everything you will see it here. Right? Everything you see it here. But keep this in mind, guys. Everyone have this mindset that, so you no need to, of course you can explore by yourself, but you no need to go and see each and every link here. Of course, that is an exploring concept, but we need to understand, we need to learn first the concept, then you later explore the stuff, right? It's not mandatory or necessary to, okay, sir, what is this? What is this here? What is this here? What is this? You will go mad. So that is not now. At the end of the course, maybe that is the kind of mindset you should be getting it, but not now. Just follow what I say for easy. Okay, so this is the bell icon. And then this one here, we have user. Guys, I have logged into this account. So what type of account that I have logged in here? Here I logged in as IAM user. Here I logged in as IAM user. So, and this is my account number. What is this, guys? This is my account number. So everyone have their own account number. What's that? Everyone will have their own account number, right? And then yeah, so remember organizations. Have you heard about organizations concept? What is that? What is that about? To maintain the multiple root accounts, right? So when you are in that position, definitely you can learn this. But yeah, so here all these service quotas. Remember, guys, for each and everything, did we learn that there will be a soft limit? Right? For IAM users, you have a soft limit. For launching the EC2 instance, you have soft limit. For everything, you have a soft limit. And then if you want to go for billing dashboard, guys, see, my IAM username is Ria, and I have admin permissions. But see, if I go to billing dashboard, do I have access? Even though I'm admin? Will I have access? No, no. Didn't we learn that? Right? So if you want to check this, if you want to check this, you need to log in. If you want to check the billings, all these things here, you need to log in with the root user, or you can provide the permissions to the to the IAM user to give the billing access. You need to follow all these things. But yeah, you have the root account with you, you can log in with that. We'll talk about switch roles soon and then sign off. And guys, what is a region? What is a region? Region is a geographical area. We have learned a lot on, spent much time there. So, which region that we need to choose for doing our practicals and all? Mumbai. Hey, anyone out of India at the moment here in our class? Where? From where? I need to know. One is from UK, US, Saudi Arabia, Canada. Oh my God, it is throughout the. Okay, nice, good to know. Yeah, so this this will be, you guys, those who are outside India, will be really helpful to do some practicals on Route 53. Remember Route 53? What is the use of Route 53? Yeah? It's a DNS service, right?
Yeah.
It's a DNS service.
To route the,
yeah. So
we'll be
enjoying a lot on this service. Like, we'll do some sample website posting, and then we'll ask the other guys who's out of India. They'll the same link. Yes, sir. Fans across the world. Hey, thank you. I, it's not about fans. It's about my friends. Yeah, better to call them. Yeah, thanks for that. But so we'll be enjoying a lot there in that session. But so here, as you know, those who are in India, so please select only Mumbai. Keep this in mind. Here in AWS, when we are doing some practicals, I'll be setting some rules, which is good for health. Okay, I'll be setting for rules that I'll tell that, hey, use only Mumbai. It is good for health, good for you. Because if you are selected and then going here and there, let's say, for example, you have launched an EC2 instance in North Virginia, and then sometimes in Cape Town, and sometimes in Canada, sometimes in Tokyo. Guys, if you maintain only one region, it will be easy for you to handle the billing. But sometimes you have launched there, you have not terminated the machine, and it will be charged for you. Sometimes you don't know out of all these region in which region EC2 instances are running, and you need to go and check each and everything. No, not that bullshit. But thing is here, guys, the look and feel, the services, everything are same throughout the regions. So it doesn't matter, sir, what is in Oregon, what is in Ohio, what is in California. I want to see nothing. It's the same thing that you see. The only thing is geographical area is different. If you have customers in India, select Mumbai. If you have customers in US side, select US East 1 or East 2 or West West, East 1, East 2, West or West 1, whatever. And you have in Gonda, Africa and all, you select Cape Town. And based on this, you need to, if you have some APAC region, like Asia, Pacific and all, right? You can see this. Yeah, this is the region. Hey, what is the Mumbai region code? What is the Mumbai region code that we have discussed? AP minus South minus 1. Very good. So do you see this here? AP minus South minus 1. And what is the, how many availability zones are there in Mumbai? 3. What are those? Name fully. AP minus South minus 1A, 1B, 1C. Right? So when we go in the EC2 section, we'll be talking about all these things. But we are not there yet. We are now doing IAM practicals. I'm just giving a tour how it look like. Make sense? Guys, do you agree? Those who are in USA, those who are in USA, guys, it's not, you should not select Mumbai, right? Please select North Virginia, or based on your location, you please select that. And those who are in Canada, please select Canada. Those who are in UK, there must be London. No, London, yeah? Yeah, you have Europe, London. So please select accordingly. Don't go here and there, okay? That is number 1. Very important. Good. Guys, keep this in mind. No stupid will ask you how many regions are there. But it is good for your information to know about this. How many regions are there at the moment? It's good to know. Twenty-one are there. Yeah. Keep this in mind. So here in 2021, you have 21. Oh, okay, nice. 2021, 21. Maybe 2022, 22. I don't know. Maybe. Yeah. Good. You understand the regions, right? Yeah. Nice. So here we have, next is support center, right? Yeah. Support center. So support center is, these are all documentation, forums and all. You don't care about this. But here, interestingly, support center, if you click on that, open it, you have a support center. So guys, remember we learned different types of supports. Now, which support did you select it?
Free support.
Basic support, right? Yeah, basic support. We have discussed many things. So here, if you click on, see support plan. So this is your account number, guys. This is your account number, right? And support plan is basic. But if you click on this, Don't change it, but we discussed this basic developer, business, and enterprise, right? So you have different kind of. Do you see this here? $15,000 per month, and this is $100 per month, and then $29 per month. But they will not stick with this. Now they have changed like percentage on your bill, right? Which is nasty thing, right? If you have some $10,000, you will not end up with paying $30. You will be ending up paying $200, $300, even though it is developer, right? Yeah. So these are all the things that you will get it, but this is not required for now, because in your companies, if your manager, if your company people ask that, hey, we need to have support, then you should be dare enough to say, hey sir, we have different types of supports. One is basic, which is free, developer, business, and enterprise. Please see all these SLAs, and then you should just tell them that which one they need to select. You have online self-placed labs also. Everybody, if you are paying $15,000, why can't they give all these things? Huh? Yeah. But yeah, please don't dare to do all these things now, here at the moment. Just go with the basic. Yeah, subscriptions. Do you understand, guys? Is this clear till here, everyone? Nice. Okay, so these are all the, here we have it. And then here all the recent services whatever the services that you have used, all the recent services will be over here, right? Or if you click on all services here, you can see all the services over here. It's the same. It's the same stone. It's the same stone. It's the same thing here, right? So now, these are all the tutorials that if you want to explore AWS, and if you want to build a solution, these are all we'll be doing it. But the thing is here, we'll be registering a domain, launching, building an app, creating a virtual servers. Do you remember Lightsail? Huh? Okay, let's see here, right? So you see, EC2 instances, Beanstalk, Lightsail, Route 53. We don't talk about IoT, but if you need some kind of migration, then you go for Cloud Endure, which is newly launched. But yeah, and learn about fundamentals, deep dive, etc., etc. All these are all documentation problems. Okay, now which service do we need to go into it now? Practicals. IAM. So either you have option to like recently access services, here you have it IAM, or you can go and click from here. You have, if you come down somewhere, it is hiding. So here, access security and identity compliance, you have IAM here, right? So if you click on start, it will be your favorites. It will be favorites. So so if you click here, directly you can go instead of going to and find out this, right? This IAM, EC2, right? Beanstalk, Lambda, all these are all commonly CloudWatch, right? Auto scaling. All these are all the DynamoDB, RDS, all these things are commonly used, so you can just favorite yourself in order to not to go here and search that. But anyways, so click on IAM here. Let's go to IAM. Okay, so I'm repeating again. Please, I have logged in with the IAM user, but you have to log in with the root account and create your own IAM user. Makes sense, right? Yes, keep that in mind. Okay, so you have so many nasty things here. Let's see whatever we have discussed, everything is covered out here or not, right? So guys, this is the IAM landing page. Every service will have its own landing page. Dashboard. In other words, we call it as dashboard. So guys, let's see. Do you know about users? Did we learn about users? Yes. Did we learn about roles? Yes. Did we learn about groups? Did we learn about customer managed policy? Customer managed policy meaning what? Inline policies.
Inline.
Did we just talk about, did you know about identity providers? Yes, right? So, groups, users, roles, policies, identity providers, and some settings and some reports. That is all. I told you IAM is very simple in order to bang the heads, right? IAM is very simple. So guys, theoretically we have learned everything. We just need to learn what to click, where to click, how to click. That's all. Enduku, MET, right? Yeah. How to click it? Click what? Yeah. So guys, the first and foremost is here. I'll delete this because you will not have like this. Okay. This link, the first and foremost, what you need to do is this one. This is the link. This link is called IAM user sign in link. I want everyone to write it here. Don't call it as link. Don't call user. Don't call it properly. IAM user sign in link. If I ask you what is this link, you should say IAM user sign in link. Guys, it is, see, whenever you are in interview and the words that you will be using it, the terms, the technical terms that you will be using it in the interviews matter most. If you say link, sir, link, login link, not login link, not this AWS link, no, not good, right? So call it as IAM user sign in link. Okay, now, so guys, I am the owner of the root account and I am user. If I create Abakar or if I create Jagruti Babji's account, they should be logging into my account only. Now, how do they log into my account? I need to give this link to them. That is why they need to log in as to my account. My account meaning how I represent my account. Do you see this account number there? This is same account number. Do you see this account number here? This represents that in which account number that you are logging as an IAM user. That is why it is called IAM user sign in link, right? Every IAM user that they are logging into your account needs to have this IAM user sign in. Otherwise, how do they log in? If they log in by own, they will log in their own root account, but not by other company account, right? Yeah. So guys, and now question here is, you understood this is IAM user sign in, IAM user sign in link, and every IAM user needs to have this link in order to log into my account. But is it good to see this kind of account number on your browser? Do you remember this account number? No, no. So what if we can customize this, and instead of this account ID, can I give some alias name? Yes. Here you click on customize and I give any name. I am giving something called React Cloud. And do you see this? Do you see this here? Right? So you can log in still with this account number. But it's, if you look awkward, then give the, but remember guys, this should be unique because this will go on the URL, right? On the internet. So no two URLs will be same. So this should be unique. Don't give your name, but give some tail like cloud or something. You give some name, right? And click on create alias. See, now this looks very fancy now, right? Okay, now you have done this alias account. Guys, how did we log in now? We went to the Google and type AWS console login and then we click on that and we just logged in, right? This is how we logged into this, our environment. But now you no need to do that. You have your IAM user sign in link, just copy this and bookmark it. Guys, copy it and then bookmark it. Next time, if you bookmark it, so we have like this here. If you bookmark it, just click on that bookmark and directly will be landing on that IAM user sign in link. Just give your, guys, I just took the screenshot. Do you see this here? What is this? Alias account, right? This is alias. This is, I have given the RIA account. This is my alias, right? So if you click on that IAM user sign in link, you will have this page. And RIA, give your RIA account. This is the alias, and give your IAM username and give it the password, and then boom, enter. Got this? Right? So first thing, do you understood how to customize IAM user sign in link? Everyone? Right? Don't worry, I have very step-by-step task. Okay, so the guys here, see here. This first task, can you do it? So guys, log into your root account, navigate to IAM service, customize IAM user sign in link and bookmark it. Can you do this? Number one, first task? Yes, possible easily. Nice. Now you have this IAM user sign in link. Guys, now you have customized this. Should we have to go and create our own IAM user now? Yes or no?
Yes.
Yes. So here on the left side you have users, or here you have users. Anywhere is okay. Click on users. Guys, I have already one username, Ria. I have already a username, Ria. Right? But you are logging with the root account. Do you have any IAM users?
No.
No. That means you have to create your own IAM user with your name. That's how I created with my name, and I have logged in with that account. Right? Yes. So now this is okay. So this is the Ria account, and groups we'll discuss soon. Access key, I don't have access key and secret key. Is it mandatory to have access keys and secret keys? Is it mandatory? No. Whenever you have a requirement, then you just go ahead. Otherwise, don't create it. And password age, since 825 days, I have not changed the password. I should change it. But yeah, last activity is today. MFA. Do you remember when I logging in, I have prompted for the MFA, right? Yes, MFA is configured. Now, let us go and learn how to create an IAM user. Okay? Ready? Let's do that. Click on Add User. So, here I'll go with the name called PUBG. I'm creating IAM user. Guys, you should create your own name. Yes or no? You should have your own name first of all. You should have your own IAM user. Right? Have your own name here first. Okay, I create a username, but remember you can create multiple users also here. Multiple users creations are also possible, right? But keep this in mind, whatever the permissions, let's say for example, you have a HR people. All HR people should have same permissions. Create all HR people at the same time, because all permissions will be same, na? Otherwise, if you need different users with different permissions, then you need to go and create separate IAM usernames and passwords. Okay, I created a PUBG here. Guys, did we learn that we have two types of access, console access and programmatic access? Whatever we have discussed, everything you will see it here. That's why it is becoming easy for you, right? That's a mantra, right? So, okay, now you tell me here, which one do you suggest? Should I suggest to go with console or programmatic access for PUBG for the first time?
Console.
Console, na? Got it? This is the same real time you should be doing it. There is no difference at all. Okay, so I'll just go with the console for now. Right, I'll go with the console. But can I have both? Why not? I can have both too. The only thing is, you will get access keys and secret keys also. Do you see this here? API, CLI, SDKs, and all other development tools. You will have programmatic access. And this one is here to log in with the IAM user sign-in link, like your username and password. For now, let's not go for programmatic access. We will create any time after the user got created. Okay, so PUBG is a username, right? And I'm giving the console now. Nice. And then console password. Guys, auto-generated password. AWS itself will auto-generate password. It gives a nasty password, all kind of yoga style password. You know yoga style password? 1 ampersand, 1 niche, 1 upar, uska, like all kind of hash, question mark, yeah? All kind of auto-generated that Bluetooth password, you will get it, right? And then custom password. If you want to have your own password, you can put it. But guys, most of your custom passwords are same. I know. What kind of password that you guys will be put, na? You and me 143, you me ding 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 ding, me and my, right? Or that all kind of nasty password will be easily hacked, right? So it's your wish. Give us some complex password, right? And then otherwise let it be auto-generated password. Okay, now required password reset. Now, guys, here who is creating PUBG's account? Some admin only, na? Those who have access to IAM user, admin will be creating that, right? Yes, admin will be creating. That's good. But if he create, the admin will know the PUBG's username and password, right? Admin will know PUBG's username is PUBG, password also admin will know, so that you need to give it to PUBG, right? Is it good that admin also know about PUBG's password? It's not good, right? So that's the reason here, required password reset. In your real time, guys, as an admin, if we create some IAM user, definitely you need to select this. What will happen if you select this? Whenever PUBG is logging it, he is forced to change the password. He is forced to change the password. If you change the password, admin will also not know about that his password. But as you are creating your own IAM user, do you need this now? Here? No need. Na? You are giving your own, right? So you are giving your own username and password. You don't need to change it again, right? But in your real time, you should be using it. You understood step 1 out of step 5? You understood step 1? Everyone clear? CC? Nice. So give the username and give console access, right? And then auto-generated password and remove this password required, password reset. Okay. Now next, click on next permissions. Okay, guys, see here. Are you adding this user to the group now? No. Are you copying permissions from existing user? Do you have any existing user? No. So now attach existing policies directly. You have this option here. Click on that third button, third option. And guys, these are all your policies that AWS is providing. Remember policies? There are many policies here. Do you see there are two types of policies, managed policies and then customer managed policies, right? This number is variable, guys. This number is not constant. It will, whatever I do it also, that will also get count. Yeah, don't worry on that number. Yeah. So this, see, if you see something, this symbol, orange color, those are all AWS managed policy. These are all the policies which I have created. And if you see this orange symbol, that meaning those are all AWS managed policies. Okay, so now you are creating your own account. What kind of policy, what kind of permissions that you need? Administrator access, na? Good. Do you see the first one itself is administrator? Select that. But is it possible to select multiple policies to one single user? Can we attach it? Yes, possible. But if you select administrator access, is it required to select other? No, you are complete admin now. And just for fun, if you expand this, you can see the JSON. This is only the JSON. Yeah, Lipshad, don't worry. It is, I said, 730 is not a constant one. It's depend upon. It is a combination of customer inline policies and managed policies. So it's depend. Yeah, it will vary. Guys, do you see this here? This is a version. We'll talk about policies. This is a statement box. Effect. You can allow or deny. Action. Star meaning everything. Resource meaning everything. So if you put star and star here, that meaning you are admin. You can do all actions. Create, delete, update, anything, all CERD operations you can do it. And resources meaning not only EC2, not only particular service, all resources in AWS you have access. This is the JSON format. And if based on your requirement, you need to start adding and deleting. We will see that on the policies also, don't worry. But for now, you understood, you need to select administrator access. Is this clear? And set boundary permissions, you don't worry, because if you want to restrict this IAM user for having only maximum, you can restrict the user okay, this user can have only this kind of permissions. So don't restrict it for now, just leave it that. But here, just go for attach existing policies directly and then select administrator access here. Clear? Step 2. Nice. And then click on next tags. Here we have something called next tags. Click on next tag. Guys, tags are, we learned that key value pair. Tags are what? Key value pair. We have a key and we have a value. So this, how many tags you can create per resource? Maximum 50. So this Babji is reasserting. So let's say for example here, in Babji is from Ria's team or AWS team or HR team. Guys, you can give any name. So I can give his email also. babji@gmail.com. So that whenever I go to this user, by seeing this tag, I can easily give the details like department, he is from some department. administrator access giving to IAM user as admin role. Yes. Don't get the role concept here. In general, you can say that. But we have the roles concept different, Rakesh, but you should not use the concept called role here. So how you should say is, yes, IAM user is having the admin access, admin permissions. Yeah, not the role. But yeah, you can call it as general role. Guys, you understood step 3, everyone? Rakesh, is that CC for you? But this is provided by business? Provided by business? Yes, true. Ashish. Nice. So this is step 3, and then click on next is review. And then we don't have habit of reviewing enough, right? We don't have a habit of reviewing. So, but yeah, review it. So we have given the user details. Username is Babji, and then access type auto-generated, password reset, boundaries no, and administrator access team, and these details we have given. And then click on now create user. Okay, user, yeah, user got created. What is this link called? Clearly say that IAM user sign in link. So now I have created a user, right? I have created a user. Just take this. Yeah, there's question. Sir, once created, later do we have edit? Yes, of course you can edit it. I'll show you all these things, right? I don't leave any questions to you in your brains. Yeah, so guys, this is an IAM user sign in link. So after I have created Babji's account, now what I'll do, I copy this URL, right? This is a username, and this is the nasty password that you got it, yoga style password, right? And then if you click on send mail, directly it will drop an email to you, and then you will send it, right? But yeah, but the thing is here, you can, if you should have the email configured, but you just go to your email and then write compose a nice email that, hey Babji, welcome to Boom Boom Limited. Your AWS credentials have been created, right? And then this is your username, password, and this is your IAM user sign-in link, right? So, and you are the admin for this account. Yeah, yes, Siraj. So it's like welcome email. So you can send an email to this with these details. But keep this in mind. If you just provide only Babji and then password, will he able to log into your account? No. How do he log into your account? He should have his account ID and aliases, right? Yeah. So it is mandatory to provide IAM user sign-in link, Babji username and password. Is this clear? Click on close. Is this clear how to create an IAM user? Everyone? So here is create your own IAM user with admin policies attached. Done? Yes. Nice. Good. Okay. So we have created a user. We have created a user here. And let's see what all the details that the user has. So if you click on this Babji, you have all these things here. You have all these things here. Okay, let's see this here. Okay, so the summary is, do you remember the ARN? Amazon Resource Name. For each and every resource, you have an ARN. We will see in this writing the policies how to give the. So if you want to give the permissions to the Babji, here Babji is nothing but ARN. Sir, you have created IAM user under IAM user account. So we can create IAM user accounts under IAM. Why not? Simple thumb rule is, if this IAM user has permissions to create, he can create it, whoever it may be. है ना? Root account, definitely he can do it, right? Root account, definitely he can do it. But IAM user, I am the IAM user here who has admin permissions. See what kind of permissions that the IAM user Babji has. Babji has admin access. He can also go and create it, right? If the RIA account, if the Babji account doesn't have administrator access and he has only EC2 permissions, He cannot create. It's all about the permissions. Yes. Okay, so this is the ARN, and this is when it got created. Okay, there is another question. But sir, I am a bit confused with ARN and tag. What is the exact difference? Tag is key value pair. It is used for identification purpose. Completely different. ARN is okay. Don't forget about ARN for now. ARN is to identify a resource. Tag is completely different. You have a gene, right? You have a gene span, right? Yeah. Yes. You have a gene span. Gene span is an ARN, right? You have identified, and then it is a gene. And inside the gene, you have a tag details, like, all the details, information is about the tag. But this is for identifying that particular guy. This is a Levy gene or whatever it is. Yes. Yes. So this one is mostly used for writing the policies, but yeah, we will see that definitely. Okay, guys. So here we have permissions, groups, tags, security credentials, and access advisor. We have 5. Let's see one by one here. Anytime you can go and delete user on top. And here, guys, now I don't want Babji to give admin permissions now at the moment. So what I can do, simply, guys, permissions can be attached and permissions can be detached. If I want to remove the permissions, how? Detach. Now Babji is not admin anymore. You see? So now I want to, guys, someone asked how to the permissions. This is how you edit it. That meaning this is how you add and remove. So now I want to add EC2 permissions. Go search for EC2 full. See? EC2 full permissions, you have it. Next, and then attach. Got that? So you can add multiple permissions as well. I'll just go and create ST full permissions or read only permissions. How many permissions I can add like this? How many policies I can attach? Nice. You understood? The brand new IAM don't have any permissions. Very nice. That's a very good certification question. Guys, if you create any IAM user, right? If you create an IAM user, brand new IAM user has any kind of permissions? No. Keep this in mind. By default, you will not have anything. You should go and attach it. Yeah. How to you have into mark here. How to detach it? Click on it and then remove it. Like detach. Detach meaning here removing. Got that? Right? And then here, no need to set here. This one actually no need to set. What kind of permissions you can set this guy? You can select the permissions. You can set the boundary. Only these guys can have only this kind of permissions. You can skip, but not good now. Yeah, this is also not good now because remember CloudTrail. What does the CloudTrail do? Yes. So this is previously it was not there even for a couple of days back. They have added. Keep this in mind, guys. Every AWS is enhancing a lot. We never know any time any link or any tab will come anytime, right? So here I have not seen this before, but now I saw this. This one is CloudTrail events. CloudTrail, as you said, it will record all the activities happening in the AWS environment. So if you're not sure what kind of permissions you should give it to Babji, I think they have generated this. This will auto-generate the policy where based on users' activity, it will generate the policy automatically, right? What kind of permissions that is. But yeah, we'll see that. This is an advanced thing, but yeah, don't bang your head. Let's go with the plain stuff, how to add and remove the permissions now at the moment here. Do you understand how to attach and detach the policies now, guys? Yes. And here groups. Guys, what is a group? Collection of users, right? So on the left side, you have groups concept here. See, groups. Select the group. Should we create a group? It's very simple. Create a group. What's the group name? I call it as AWS. Okay, DevOps. Huh? DevOps. Next step. Is it possible? What you can attach to the groups? Policies only, na? Is it possible to attach any other things apart from policies? No. So this group, I want to give what kind of permissions give me? Tell me. What kind of permission should we give it to dev? You can search it here. Do you see that? I have selected RDS. Here we have RDS. See, for now I am selecting RDS. So, and then click on next. See, for every resource will have its own ARN. This policy will also have its own ARN, right? So, see here, nothing. First give the group name, attach the policy, review, and then boom, boom, create it. That's all. And create another group. I call it as AWS Architect. Next. Yeah. What is a special character? How to attach users? Hold on, we are doing that actually. Rakesh, groups will have collection of IAM users. You are asking question.
So
Come on,
group name
did you
can
miss
be
the class?
unique.
I can easily say that you missed the class. Okay, whatever. AWS Architect. No capital letters maybe. Or whatever. I don't know. Yeah, so it has some things. But yeah. So guys, for this AWS Architect, tell me what kind of CloudWatch. I can see CloudWatch here. Let's keep CloudWatch first. Yeah, no space. Yeah. So here, so group name can be unique or we can create multiple. It should be unique. Let's create a DevOps then. Butu, already there. So it's unique. Yeah. If you get your questions answered, please put CCR so that I don't scroll up. So I don't want any questions unanswered. Those who have answered, if you got an answer, please put CCR. Yeah. Yes. You understood how to create in groups here? So here, if you select the group here and then add user to the group, delete the group, edit the group, or remove users to the group. Right? We have created groups here. Should we go and add the users to the group? How to add users to the group? There are two ways. Number one is from the groups here itself, you can go and create it. Here itself, I can go and add users to the group. Let's say, Babji, to whom I will add? Okay, I'll add Babji to AWS Architects. This is how you add the users to the group. It's a bloody checkbox, guys. You can add multiple. Yeah. So here I have added. Another way also is go to user, go to PUBG. Here you have groups now. Add user to the group. And now PUBG can also be in DevOps. Yes. One user can be in multiple groups. Yes. And see what kind of permissions that he got. Guys, he has his own individual permissions called S3, and he got from AWS Architect, he got CloudWatch, and from DevOps, he got RDS full access. Did we learn that? His individual permissions will not be lost. Will not be lost. Clear? Understand about the groups? How to add user to the, how to remove to the group? How to remove? Yeah? Simply, into mark. If the user, if the Babji, I have to remove Babji from DevOps group, Fasak. Remove from DevOps. Yes. And if I want to remove from architects, other way also go to the groups, and here, remove. Boom. Boom. Right? However, your comfort. You understood the groups concept? Attach, detach, etc., etc. And tags, we have deal with this tag. Anytime you can go and read the tag, and anytime you go and you you can edit it, right? You can delete whatever. So, and next here is security credentials. Security. Before coming to security credentials, let's go meaning here. Let's say, for example, I told Babji that, hey Babji, guys, now at the moment, now I'm here like this. Now you tell me. Now at the moment, how I want to see what the what kind of permissions that the Babji has. Tell me where to go now? How do I know what kind of permissions that Babji has? Where to go now? Bola bhai. Should I go to groups? Or users? Click users. Okay. Click user. Direct me, yeah? Babji. Hit Babji. And do you see this in permission tabs? And if you see here, S3 read only permissions that he has it. Right? Okay. Now, I gave some tasks to Babji. Let's say Babji is working with me. I told Babji, guys, in S3, what do we create? In S3. In S3, what do we create? Buckets, na? Nice. Good one. In S3 we create buckets and all. Yeah, I told Babji, today you create 4 buckets and then work on it. Just create 4 buckets and let me know. And tomorrow he came to me and we had a meeting and I said, I asked, Babji, did you create the buckets? Yes, sir, I created bucket. Yes. Really? Yes, creating buckets and all kind of, yes, I did it. Sure? And then he'll think that how, right? So, yeah, of course, I understand he is having a read-only permission. Just imagine that he has full permissions, right? Right? Yeah, of course, good catch. But the thing is, let's say he has full permissions on S3, and I have given him the task, and he said, yes, I have done it. I am asking, are you sure, really sure, and all, and that Babji got a little bit of question in his mind that how was, guys, because the thing is, I can easily find out this IAM user has done what, right? And this guy said that he has done S3 task, but if I see from Access Advisor, he has not accessed the S3 at all. That meaning he is lying it. So Access Advisor is used to find out which service has been accessed when. Last accessed. Last accessed. Right? Last. So if he S3 when he has last accessed. Right? EC2 when he has last accessed. But what all the things that he has accessed, it will not list. Only the tracking, only tracking. But if you want to know what all the things that he has accessed, what all the things that he has created as resources, which service that you need to go and see, come on, answer that. In which service? Which service? Which service? Which service? Which service has the details of everything, what he has created, what he has deleted, what he has, which resources he has created? CloudTrail. You have again confused. CloudWatch is different. CloudWatch is for monitoring. CloudTrail is for recording. Does CloudWatch can monitor who is doing what? CloudWatch will monitor only performance. Right? CloudWatch will monitor performance. How can you forget gym example? This is how you put the wrong answer in certification. You know what is the answer, but sugar patience. Right? Please understand the question and then answer it. Right? If 1 mark is gone, it's gone. Yeah. So what kind of things that he has created, what kind of things he has done, deleted, etc., etc., etc. Everything you can get it from CloudTrail specially. Okay, are you clear about here permissions, group, tags, and access advisors before I go to security credentials? Yes. Let's go to security credentials. Guys, what is this link called? We just learned IAM user sign in link. Okay, now, so guys, I am using Babji's account. Every account will have the same permissions. Okay. So here, console password. Console password. Console password meaning here, let's say for example, Babji went for vacation and he forgot his password. There is a very common activity. This is a very common activity that users will forget their password, right? And they will be asking admins, hey, can you please reset my password? And how do you reset it? Yes, go to console password, click on manage, and then again give that Ubuntu password. That meaning yoga password. Or you can, if you know, sometimes the password will expire also. Na? Guys, we have expiration settings also in settings here, right? If the password expires and if you want to keep the same existing password, keep it or give it or give your favorite password, me143, whatever, right? So the question for you here is it possible to reset IAM user password? Yes. Keep that in mind. And also, let's say Babji went for paternity leave, for example, right? So not that, but let's say he went for some long vacation, right? And we got to know from intelligence, what is that? Intelligence department, where that Babji is leaving our company, and he wants to do some boom in our company. Go and disable Babji's account. Guys, the question here is certification question. Is it possible? Can you hear me? Can you hear me? Okay, now? Yes. Okay, there was, for a second it is unstable. Yeah, that's fine. So the certification question here is, guys, when I say certification question, please write it down somewhere, okay? Right? Certification question here is it possible to disable or block or deactivate or disable IAM user actually console, IAM user console access? Yes. How? Click on manage and here you have disable. So this is a certification question. They don't ask you directly, hey Babji, is it possible to disable the IAM user console sign in? Right? No, they will not ask. They will give a nice story. Babji got you know how the story they'll give like this, like, you know, Babji got a job, after that he got married, after that he went for maternity leave, and after that Babji want to, etc., and we want to disable his console access. How is it possible to do it? Yes, possible. Not like that. Clear? Nice. And next we have something called assigned MFA device. MFA device. Guys, isn't enough. Everyone should have IAM, right? Every user should have MFA, right? Yes, every should I sing a song now? Is this clear now? Okay, don't worry. If you get it break, please ask me to repeat it, right? Because that's not in my hand. Internet can be lacking. But believe me, I have almost 175 Mbps speed. right? So it just sometimes happens. Okay, so here, assign MFA device. The question here is, every user should have MFA assigned. Yes. Do you understand how to disable console IM console? IM user console access? Here. Click on here. Click on manage and this one. Enable disable. Here. Sayed bhai. Okay. So here, assign MFA device. So each and every individual user should have this MFA device. Let's say for example, you have a requirement that, hey, Babji's account MFA should be assigned. Go to PUBG, go to security credentials and MFA device here. Guys, you have your phones with you now. Take your phones and go to Play Store and install Google Authenticator. Install it. Install it now. This is how it looks. Google Authenticator. Microsoft Authenticator is also okay. Yes, for iPhone also App Store, yeah. Guys, isn't it funny? What is the spelling of Google Authenticator here? Come on, it's from Google. How could they have the spelling mistake? Really? Really? Come on. I don't know. Okay. I didn't expect it that. Yeah. Anyways. So, you have downloaded, right? Yes. Now, Babji, you downloaded now? So here, how to set up an MFA device? Guys, it's important. Guys, remember, setting up this MFA is mandatory for you now. See, how to do it? See, click on manage. Go with virtual MFA device. Don't go with U2F security keys, other hardware device. Guys, our old Zamana guys. So here, do you remember we have our, if you're taking laptop to your home, to connect to VPN, they'll give this RSA token, na? Faimuddin? Right? I can understand all these all Zamana guys with me then. Piyush, Abdul, Faimuddin, all these all in my head. Yeah, nice. So Imran, good. So I can see all these guys are experienced guys. Yeah. So yes, so we don't need that kind of manually carrying this RSA tokens at all. But go with this virtual MFA device. It is like, you can install this Google Authenticator on your phone, or you can have it on your computer as well. Yeah. Hold on. Let me tell you what to do. So I select this and then click on continue. And here you have show QR code. Click on show QR code. And guys, Babji, how do you scan it? Now open Google Authenticator and then scan it. You don't scan mine. It is waste of you. I want only 1%. Babji, open it and then scan it. And once you scan it, you will get the number. Okay. I need 2 consecutive numbers. Yes, 2 immediate consecutive numbers you should give it. Babji got this number already. I need another immediate number. You should provide 2 consecutive numbers. Then only it will get active. And wait for 10 seconds. Okay, now we got another number. 696462. No, you gave wrong answer, wrong one. Okay, what is the current number now? Again, you need to give 2 immediate numbers. 554891. And next generated number. T. Okay, do you see that? So now, if you have to give 2 consecutive numbers, guys, anytime, right? If you open Google Authenticator, at that time, what is the number it is giving? You just give it and then wait, and then immediate number you should give it. Then only MFA will be set it up. So do you understand now? Now MFA is set up for whenever this Babji is logging in, you will get this MFA. You will get this MFA to provide it from the phone. Like, do you remember how did I got MFA on when I'm signing in? The same way Babji will be asked MFA to provide when he is signing in to the console. And he need to open this Google Authenticator, and then whatever the code that is getting there, he just mention that, and then he will be logging it. You understand? And how to remove it? Simply go to manage and then remove it. Simple. As I have removed, and there is no use, guys. Those who have scanned this my scanner, please delete it. It is of no use. Unnecessarily you will get confused. Just go and delete it, everyone. Those who have scanned, you have option. Check it, Spandana. There somewhere you will have plus button or hit hold that, and then you delete it. Yeah. Got it right? Yeah. Hold it, long press, and then yeah, you get option. Yeah. You understood, guys? So now, guys, now you know how to set up MFA for your IAM user. Will you do the same thing for your root accounts also? Your root account should have MFA also, na? Yes, your root account should have MFA, same concept. But I'll give you one hint here. For root account, you need to go to this My Security Credentials. Go to this My Security Credentials and you will get the root MFA. Just click on that MFA and you will get the same option. Sorry, you will get the same option. And then set up MFA for your root account as well as IAM user that you have created. Right? And keep this in mind. For every service, I'll be giving you some exploring concept also. It is not that, sir, you do everything here, I'll do it. No. Exploring is very important in the companies. Whenever you get a job, nothing is ready-made for you. No, nothing is ready-made for you guys. You need to investigate. You need to explore. Right? Keep this in mind that each and every service, I'll be giving you some exploring concept. And this is very bullshit, very easy. Right? Click on this security credentials and assign MFA for your root account as well. So, at any point of time, how many accounts in your Google Authenticator you should have it? How many accounts you should have it in your Google Authenticator for MFA? 2. How many? 2. One is root account and another is your IAM account. How many you should have it? 2. One is root account and IAM user. So any point of time you should have only 2. Don't play with like scanning multiple times. If you have 10, you don't know which account, when you're logging in, you don't know which MFA you should provide it. That's the reason. Keep this in mind that you should have only 2 accounts, root and then IAM. Clear? This is how you set it up. And here, don't worry about signing certificate. This is for your company. And if they have their own certificates to logging in from your company to AWS, then this is required. For now, not required. Guys, if I skip something, it is good for your health. That will not come your certification questions and etc. It is good for health. But it is something related to certificates. But yeah, you see this access keys here? Guys, so Babji has what type of access? Console access, na? And if he asks me to create programmatical access, that meaning keys only, na? Right, see here, do you see this here? Keys. Click create keys. So guys, keys will be created like this. Keys will be created like this. Okay? Keys will be created. So click on show, you will get this secret key also, but I don't want to show it. Right? And then here, you can download this CSV file. Guys, see here, if I don't download it, if I don't save it, either you need to save like this. If you close this, is it possible to get the secret keys back? I can see only access key. Can you get secret key? No. Right? So, see, if you lose or forget your secret key, you cannot retrieve it. Instead, create a new keys and make the old keys inactive. So now I don't have secret key here. Is there any use of this key now? No. So here you have into remove it. First deactivate it and then remove it. You can delete it. I can create it again. How many times I can create it like this? N number of times I can create it. But how many maximum I can have it at the moment? I have created 2 set of keys. This here, create access key is blocked now. How many maximum set of keys that you can have? 2. So anytime you can remove data, anytime you can delete the keys, anytime you can create the keys. Right, guys? And also, is it possible to block IAM user console access? Yes. And also, it is also possible to block programmatical access. How? By making the keys inactive. If you click on inactive, he cannot use anymore. And anytime you can make it active again. You can temporarily inactive and activate later. And if you want, for a second, delete it completely. If you don't, delete it. Because when you're deleting it, if you have extra space also, you don't get this option. Remove that extra space and then delete. 2 is that mean 1 is for user, 1 is for root? Oh my god, no. This 2 is for the same BAPDs we are doing for BAPD only. For root account, you forgot, Ashish. Is it recommended to create a keys for your root account? No, don't get to create it. It's of no use. Console access itself, we don't access it. Why do we create this for it? So whatever it we do it for BAPG only, user specific. Keys are user specific. Do you understand how to create the keys, how to delete the keys, how to make inactive, active? And this all 4 tabs. Ready for the task now? See here, say yes or no here. So customize IAM user sign-in link. Yes, you can do it. Yes. And create your IAM user with admin policy attached. Yes, yes. And set up your MFA for your IAM user that you have created. Yes. Set up MFA for your root account. Yes. And also, guys, see here. Guys, once you set up your own IAM user, guys, is it okay if I take a couple of minutes extra? It's exactly 10:30. Thanks. So, guys, here, let's see here. Guys, so once you created your own IAM user, right, and then set up an MFA, is there any use of your root account anymore? Don't forget about root account. From once you created IAM user and assigned MFA to your root account, you forget, you sign out and log in with the IAM user that you just have created. From now onwards, always log in with the IAM user. Guys, one of the student, he took it very seriously, and then what he did, sir, you told me not to use root account, you told me forget about root account. No problem, sir, I'll just delete the root account and I'll be using IAM user. Is that a good? That guy has deleted the root account, but not good, guys, not good. So keep this root account with you and then just log in with the IAM account. Okay. Is it possible to create another sample IAM user for test or some other? Possible, yeah. And attach and detach the policies for your test user. Guys, will you do testing for your own IAM accounts? Right? Don't do the testing for your own IAM account. Create one sample IAM user and then do testing, like, do this. And then create 2 groups and attach the users to the groups and try to disable the IAM user and try to log in. Guys, try to log in with that disabled IAM user. See what kind of issues that you will getting in. Reset the IAM user password and try to log in with the resetted password. Create access keys and secret keys for the test IAM user. Make the keys inactive, delete the keys. Will you able to do this task? Take the screenshot, or I am putting it here. Guys, I put it in the chat. Copy that. Okay, so don't leave. I have something for you. Guys, so now you have this task. I'm very strict in the task, I'm telling you, right? And you guys are asking, sir, when is the practical? And from now, boom, boom, right? So I'm telling you again and again and again, if you are up to date with the task, it is good for health for you only. So that you will have very good confidence that you can easily clear the certification. But if you think that, so no, sir, I will do everything on the weekend, I'll stack it up. And then every day you will be having the task from now onwards. Right? And then it's not good. It's not good. Guys, can you tell me how much time does this will take for you? Frankly, honestly. The task which I'll be giving it doesn't take even more than 15 minutes or half an hour. Half an hour maximum. Isn't it? Yes. Yeah. So please do that. And guys, and we have here code commits and all. Guys, you have code commits and all. By the way, guys, are you okay? Like how we are going? Clear? It's crystal clear. All the concepts are going in your heads. It's not overflowing. It's not fast. It's not slow. Yeah, of course, it is very slow. I agree. Do you like this pace? Any issues? Any concerns? All good? Yes. Nice. We'll go with this pace only. Okay. So you will be with me only for a few days. That meaning 1 or 2 months. Right? Make use of it. And then, yeah. So if you're liking it, should I? And tomorrow, guys, Naresh IT has declared as holiday. Tomorrow, as the occasion of Ugadi, right? Tomorrow we don't have class, right? Especially, yeah. If there is no class, you say thank you. Okay, understand. Okay, so then you have good amount of time. Please do the task and just go here and there and find out what you get it. And I would like to give you a small gift on Ugadi from my side. Do you like to hear one day, one class? Do you want to hear DevOps concept, a one-day class from me? In my style? Even though that is not my cup of tea. Right? So DevOps is not mine, and this is just an with affection, with whatever you think, right? So as somehow I have connected nice with this batch, right? So I'll just tomorrow, not tomorrow, and on Wednesday, so I will give a DevOps. So what my concern is, my strategy is, you are learning AWS, and it is good to know about the DevOps because AWS and DevOps both are brothers, right? Both are brothers. So my students, my friend like you should have a broader concept of what DevOps is, right? You should have a broader concept of what DevOps is, so that you should not open your mouth and see, "Arey bhai, what is DevOps? Someone is talking about DevOps." So my guys, you should not be in that kind of position that, if anyone is talking about DevOps, you should know at least the concept. At least the concept you should know. Because DevOps is not our topic. You should learn separate DevOps from some other trainer, but at least from my side, I'll just give a token of appreciation that, let's go for talking about the different kind of tools, how the DevOps process will be, what is DevOps, how the DevOps came, what is the use, and what are the things that we should be learning, all kind of latest tools that what you should be concentrating on, everything. As a token of affection, I'll be giving you on the next class. Yes. Okay. Sir, we are sure that pleasant day of class. No, that is not a Marenge, bhai. So other guys are taking the DevOps classes, not mine. So I am here for only AWS. I'm just going one step extra, just to give you some additional info. Okay, so on this, on next class, I'll be talking about roles and policies. We have only 2 things left. I told you IAM is free. Guys, IAM is free and it's very small topic. And after that, day after tomorrow, we'll take these 2 concepts very fast and then we'll jump on DevOps classes and then not the class, and then we'll jump on to the next topic, next service. Hey, great. Can you give the final CC for today? And please remind me also on to take the DevOps class on next. Yeah. Excellent. Great. So that is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you on Wednesday, same time. And happy Ugadi. Take care. Stay safe. That is all, guys, for today. And I'll see you in the next class. Until then, take care. Bye. Have a nice day. And thank you. See you on Wednesday.